now you're dating these two. Okay, I'm not dating the two of them, but this one now has expressed what he wants. So I am picking things with this one. Uyu, but we're still talking. We're having waiting list. So this one, it became intense. It became, tukienda, because I remember your time, high school, me, I'm not from the era your parents drop you off at school. I'm from the era shika fare. And so I would go to Kiambu Town, and him also, his school, lazima angepandia gari Kiambu Town. Because tumesomea ipandia Githunguri. So tunapatana. Ujui kupatana, mmecommunicate, I think ni kwa Facebook, ama ni kwa barua. Somewhere to communicate, this is the time tutammeet. Jua tuna simu. So you can imagine in an era where you are trusting. Unashinda ukiuliza watu kwa gari because hata una watch. Saa ngapi? Ndio sichelewe. Right? So nilikuwa najua kutoka home mpaka Kiambu Town is this time. So namwambia nitakuwa Kiambu Town, tupatane hapo. Hii supermarket kwa I've forgotten the supermarket's name. Iko Kiambu Town, it's a clean shelf. Tupatane clean shelf
at this time.
So tunapatana just to be able to, for him to walk me to my matatu.
Hi, we are back on Tangawizi podcast, and today we're going to be talking about love. No, that's a joke. I got you right there. Anywho, we are so happy and we're looking so glamorous today because we want to delve into what relationships, the amazing relationships that we get to exist in, how they inform who we continue to evolve to be across our lifespan. Yeah. Sounds like a good topic, right?
It is actually. I feel like I was prepared for this topic, and then right now I'm just like, oop, because I have a lot to say when it comes to relationships and how just all of it has evolved for me. But more particularly, we're definitely interested to hear what Pollet has to share with us today in terms of relationships. I've heard a bit of her story, and I always tell Caroline, like, it's such a nice story, such an inspiring story. So I also can't wait for our listeners to get a chance to hear that today. My name is Dorsila. Welcome to Tangawizi. I'll hand it over to Paulette to introduce herself, tell us a little bit more about who you are, what you do, and any other thing.
Thank you. So hi, everybody. My name is, which camera am I looking at? I'm not confused. Okay. So
not to worry. Just exist.
Okay.
Yeah. Relate.
Flow.
Yes.
Okay. So my name is Mungai Pollet. I work in the e-commerce industry. It's pretty new, pretty exciting. And today we're here to talk about love.
Woohoo!
Today we are here to talk about love. Me, when I say love, it's serious because
okay,
it's
why?
serious.
I hope the love of my life is watching though.
It's serious. It's serious because who you choose to give your love to plays a huge role on how your life trajectory, ends up. Because you might love the wrong person, and your life just goes into a deep dark cave, and you might love the right person, and they give love to you, and you bloom and you become the best version of yourself. So it could go either way. So who you give your love to should be a serious topic.
Wow.
So that's why I'm being serious.
Well, okay. we hope as we all have an opportunity to reminisce on our different experiences. We will unserious and cry a little. I hope there's tissue. I'm joking. But we have capacity to support each other as we have this conversation safely. So I know this is a cliche place to start, but we always love to start this on the space of how we were all socialized around relationships. So would invite you to just share with us when you think relationship and who you need to relate with and who you ever aspired to relate with. How were you socialized around relationships?
It's a good question because now I'm thinking my mom, my aunties, my grandparents. But I have grown up with both parents. I have a lot of love for them. They have been together since, I think my mom was 19 when she got married. And my dad was, I think, 22, 23 apple. So it was young love. And all my life, I didn't know their story. My mom opened up about their story, how they met, probably when I was in my teens. Now she started telling me, oh, your dad used to come wait for me at outside our gate. Yeah, and my mom was like, analengas. You know how us African women had to get. So she's playing hard to get. So she's a saloonist. So alikuwa natoka college, anakuja, and then my dad ana time. So my dad is there looking sharp, hapa kwa gate, ako mrembo. Yes. So eventually mrembo akajipa, and then now their journey started. Yeah. The journey started, and then my brother came, and then me, and then my sister. We are 3. So growing up, I saw love, true and genuine love, because these people have been together from, you'd think that when you're together with someone, you fall in love with somebody when you're so young. When you grow old, you'll be tired. Utamchoka, you want something different. But I've seen them love each other in different seasons, and sometimes it was tough. Yeah, and you got to also see how tough it got. Because, as friends, I can be my best version when we're together, but when I go home, I'm my truest self. And then with the love also, at a certain age, you can't hide who you are. You become, like, your nini is raw, your feedback is raw, right? For example, you've had a bad day at work, you come home, and you don't know how to express yourself per se. Yeah? And then something happened, your child pours tea. You end up yelling at that child, right? Yeah. So I saw, of course, a lot of mistakes are made if you fall in love young. By the time they're still together now, but a lot of mistakes are made because of instances like you have not learned how to express yourself bad, or you are learning with this person still in it. There's also a now danger to that, which we will speak on, of course. But generally, I have seen love love hold through time. Wow. Yeah. And they're still together. Mpaka saizi, my oldest brother is like 32. So you can imagine these people have been together. And my parents are beautiful. Love. My parents actually don't age.
Wow.
They don't age. So I'm looking forward to not aging, guys. Yeah.
You must take notes for your mother.
Yes, I will take notes to my mom. Yeah. So with them, I saw that kind of love where you stick together, ride or die. No matter what, even with the ups and downs, you are willing to fight for that love. I didn't know in my future now I will be the same. Even if when you are younger, you are like, when it's difficult, you are like, when you're a child, you're like, I see how our channel too, like, is this much chaos? Like, is this that serious? Kwani ni lazima? So you just leave kila mtu aishi, because all you want as a child is a stable home, right? So now later on in life, I grow up, I'm wondering why I'm unable to leave this guy. Kumbe is how I'm socialized.
Yeah.
But before you know that, you're wondering why is it I keep wanting to fight for this relationship.
I am just intrigued by the fact that you could see a relationship between your parents.
Yeah, sometimes it was even gross. Yeah. During Valentine's, my dad would kiss my mom, and we were all like, oh my God, that is disgusting. It was not deep, but it was on the mouth. So,
sorry, my what was supposed to be nice, like, oh my God.
But when it's your parents, you're like, oh.
But again, it's a socialization.
I know, but then, like, eventually, now, that time you're young, you're thinking boys are gross. Kama yesterday, my daughter, I asked her, is it yesterday or the day before? I asked her, what do you think about boys? She said boys are gross. In my head, I'm like, yes.
No.
Yes. No, right now, yes. Like, I don't need her to think this guy is handsome.
Beings.
Yeah, but right now I need her for her to think boys are gross. It's good. She's like, it buys me some time for some conversations. Yes. We've had the birds and the bees conversation, but then at least you're sure at this point she's not giving anybody her heart or her feelings. Like, her heart belongs to you. So I told her, ile song ya bora umpende mama yako. I keep saying that sometimes.
You're protecting this child too much.
I'm the only person who can trust with your love at this point in life. Yeah? We will talk. Then I ask her, at what point do you need to have a relationship? She says, when I'm 30.
Good.
I'm like, cheers, let's go. Yeah, because I think for us, you're socialized very young. You're like, it's a school. I think for even every baby in Africa, school, then after school, marriage. I still book a job at a secretariat. You're not socialized to be ambitious. A job, a constable, and then marriage, and then now children, and then after that now nobody ever tells you what happens
after that. Fanya tu vile unataka, alafu tu ukufe. Sorry, I'm joking. Hakuna legacy.
But eventually have a home, a bungalow house and some cows, some chicken running around. Yeah, simple life.
Drosile, ushasikia mapenzi?
I mean, I'm thinking, I'm like, do I tell them the true story?
Whatever you feel safe.
Well, I grew up in a home whereby, yes, you could tell there was love, but the expression of that love was very tactile. Yeah, I love you because I cook for you. I love you because I do things. Yeah, so it's something very tangible. It's not I love you because of how I'm expressing. Oh, I love you so much. No, it was. I knew my dad loved us because he showed up for us in various capacities. My mom would even ask us, if you thought I didn't love you, would I be doing all these things for you? Yeah, so that's how we understood love. And even the love on the TV just felt so like what we would watch on television and all of that, where people are very expressive of their emotions and feelings and all of that. It's such a new concept to us, because I was like, we don't have that in the house. But we knew that these two people are committed, they're here, they're together, they're willing to see this family grow and to support the family structure and all of that. And there was also the idea that you stay. No matter how tough or rough it gets, you stay. And we would even sit and we would even ask our folks, like, how did you guys even make us? Because at some point, you're like,
the conflict is
the conflict is a lot, but
you
then
could see the conflict.
You could experience the conflict. You would walk in the house and you would know something is amiss somewhere, and then it was also not explained. So love for us, I feel like love was there, yes, but relationships, people didn't openly speak. Like, this is what is happening in the relationship. This is what needs to be done. This is what you witness as the children, and this is what it means. So there was no, this is what it means, this is what it doesn't mean. We were just, as they were experiencing, we were also experiencing and witnessing.
I think it's everybody. It's even you now.
It's typical of an African home.
Like, when you're home, you can't just hide who you are. You can't process things therapeutically at the stages of... No.
Yeah. Wow.
Exactly. So even by the time I was trying to have my first boyfriend, it was very hush-hush tone. Because even I don't even think I talked to my sister about it, because we don't talk about this stuff. And there was no room and space to talk about it. I just remember when we were growing up, there was this one boy. He would always come to our house, and by that time, us, me and my twin sister and the last born, we found our parents when they were less strict, so
walikuwa washachoka.
So exhausted. So there was this one boy who would always come to our house, and my dad would get him at the gate and shout at him and tell, "What are you doing here? I don't want to see you here." He would still come back. He would still come back until my dad would be like, "Umekuja?" Anaingia ndani, they drink tea.
Wow, consistency.
Like, they drink tea, we come, we sit, we watch TV, we just hang out, and my dad just accepted. It was like, okay, fine. Did
he know what the boy wanted?
No, and even the boy wasn't very direct. We didn't even know if he liked me or my twin sister. It was
he was available for whatever goes.
Exactly. So I think that was the closest that my folks were involved.
Whatever happened to that boy?
He's still a good friend of mine.
Did he ever say what he wanted?
No, and I feel like I don't want to know right now.
It's far gone.
Because what if I wasn't the one? I'd rather just keep it the way it was. So
nice.
I think, we never really talked about relationships and dating, but that has changed right now, because now the pressure is, so are you dating someone? Are you...
Please, don't come to the dramas of now. Me, I'm enjoying the dreams. I think I did have the best opportunity probably to see all this. Because for me, I was the baby.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, of course, same as you, by the time for me I'm being parented, parents are already done with being harsh, being strict. So even everybody's wondering, hi, why is this one getting away with almost everything? It's because that form of probably parenting, they were done and dusted with it. But what I saw for me, actually, can I say even so? I didn't see anything. Like I knew my mom and dad were in the same space together. So for me, love was, there was no arguments. No, I never saw them fight. I never saw bad energy. I saw nothing.
But how are they coexisting? Was it
very well? Like it was just.
Dad asked for dinner. It's brought.
There was no drama. There wasn't. This is dad's seat. Like it was just happy-go-lucky. Like the environment was just good. So I don't even know where they would fight from, when they would fight. I don't know such kind of a love. I never saw it. So maybe they were very good at protecting their space and not transferring it to the kids, or I was just too young to see it,
or they got to a point where now you're too old to argue. We have accepted where we are, who we are with. Let's just do life.
All I know is that my dad was the party one, like more louder, and my mom was the more reserved one. So I don't know. For me, they were just two people who brought me to this earth, but how they expressed affection to each other, I wasn't privy.
But did you desire something of that sort? Like,
so I think for me, that is what love looks like, probably. Looking at myself now, that it's gentle, it's quiet, there's no drama. And maybe that's what I quietly aspire to. But then for me, I mean, unfortunately, that space existed only for up to when I was like 13. So I never existed past that in such a space, you know. Life happened. So I don't know. So maybe my siblings would. But what I remember was that when my siblings were a bit older, in high school-ish, those questions were there. If you're seeing somebody, bring them home. So there was probably an enabling environment at home for you to explore relationships. Even though we were serious Catholics, of course, there was the 6th commandment, guys. You must remember the 6th commandment. However, you are encouraged to bring. And I would see my siblings bring their people home. And I would pick a favorite of everybody that was brought, depending on what they came with. They came bearing gifts, and they're like, I like that one, because when that one came, this is how I benefited. So there was room for that. But did I see it directly from my parents? For me, no, I didn't. They had their relationship, and then there was us. So for me it was hush hush.
I think just to add, in our home, my dad was the more expressive one. My mom is less expressive. So my mom, even with us, like even just saying, I love you girls, it's very hard for her. It's just who she is. My dad is very expressive. So also that influenced our level of expression. And even when I feel like, why should I say that? I'm like, okay, where did I learn that? Like I shouldn't be, like forthcoming with my emotions and say what I'm thinking or how I'm feeling, so those are things that you see how it plays out right now. You're like
I don't know why. When she said that, I just remembered. Fast forward, I had a relationship where I used to have this guy. I tell him, Kwanzaa, this guy has chased me for like 3 years, and then sasa having get box. And then now after naming get box, I keep asking him. 3 years.
Na mtu amekuandikia message siku mbili ana complain. Check yourself.
It takes me a while to fall. So then I find myself in this position where I'm asking him, I'm telling him, tell me you love me. Like, I love you, say it. Like, I want him to keep saying it. I don't know why.
Unalazimisha mtu aseme anakupenda.
After upigisha labs for 3 years.
So he turned around and he told me, he's a foreigner. So he told me, Mimi, nimekupenda. Kutoka mwanzo. Wewe saa hizi umeanza kunipenda. Na inakupea pressure.
Na yeye ako na miaka 3 under his belt.
So when she said that, I just remembered probably, having parents who are expressive and those who are not, sometimes having those who are not affects a lot how you show up. No matter how many books you read,
it's true.
It doesn't get any easier. If you don't know how to say it, saying it it's so hard for me.
I hear you, but pia tusisahau, there was the space of faith, the space of religion. For me, greatly in my family. And probably that delayed my willingness to even relate. And even how I saw relationships. They were not even, made to seem like they would add value to me wholesomely as a person. They would help me discover elements of me. They were meant to go like, if you'd ever be in a relationship with a boy, you're going to make child.
Yeah.
You're going to break the sixth. Sixth commandment was very important. Very important. No, still is, guys. Because it's iko kwa list bado si atu walitoa.
Kidogo meditate.
Hapana. Unajua brikumi hazijai change. So hivyo.
But sisi weka conditions personally.
Sisi ni watu wengine, sisi na amri 10 ni two different things. Lakini hazijai change. So from that, hata sikuwa na ile motivation. Looking at even that socialization, ya kutaka kurelate. I wasn't looking forward to, like I'm going to get to 16 and want to have somebody in my life. No, because I'm even scared. I'm like, hey, probably the day I get into a relationship is the day I make child, is the day I break the sixth commandment. Like, even my whole socialization didn't trust me. To enforce the sixth commandment and not,
Actually, from what I'm just hearing, I totally relate with that, because there was this lack of trust in your personhood to engage in other relationships with autonomy and being able to protect yourself but still engage. So the option was just to not engage, or to engage very fearfully.
Yes. And secretly.
Yes. And and hope things will just be okay. So there was a lot of fear, I find. Mine also was just also very religious. Just trying to be this Christian girl who don't get pregnant or don't do this, just trying to maintain yourself within that boundary. And then you wake up one day and you're told now you have to kick out that boundary.
and now welcome all the process.
Yeah. And you're like, huh?
Ni kama usai ndio umefunguliwa. Anyway, tumefika kwa kufungua. So mlijifungua lini? Mulianza correlate lini, defying all this socialization. When did you all open yourself up to go like, okay,
maybe
we are relating.
Let's engage.
It's going down.
So, guys, me by the way, I didn't have that fear of the sixth. My parents, by the time I was getting into teenagehood, I think I was in boarding school in primary, and then unaingia straight boarding school. So I didn't have that much time with my parents for them to. And then we were 3 children, and then tumefuatana. So they were busy. So the world actually informed.
Ulifunzwa na ulimwengu for real.
The world now informed what I should look for. Now the problem with the world informing, it doesn't tell you about protection. It doesn't tell you about that if you do it. I thought, by the way, if you do it one time, you won't get pregnant, guys.
I mean, but it only takes one time.
I know, but then remember,
what time?
Remember, this time mnafunzwa.
It only takes one time.
Hata kama mmefanya reproduction, mnafunzwa na walimu. They're still very reserved. So they're not dwelling on that topic.
Yeah, it's very fast.
We're brushing over it. So I remember my first interaction when the desire came. I had this friend in high school. I won't mention her name.
Please don't.
We were friends in the same class, and then in the dorms, she was my adjacent bedie. Like, you know how beds are set up like this. So tuko tunalala sisi wote juu, ana kichwa yangu na yake inafesiana, like yake inalala hivi na mimi nalala hivi. So we were so tight naturally. Same class, same dorm, same natural cubicle. So she liked to read. So, and then her school mother who slept below her also liked to read. So she came to school with novels, these romantic novels. So I remember
Boons,
you know how somebody can tell you a story from a novel and you just, it grows that desire for you to want to read it. Trust me, I read that novel. Okay, class, every minute you get, you're just opening the novel. You're walking to lunch, you're opening the novel. You're eating lunch, you're opening the novel.
But you're kissing me under the moon.
And the way,
na kwenu hata hakuna mawingu.
Nima. And then imagine now Alejandro now being explained in that. Yeah. So now your little mind, you don't have, remember you don't have much, una build your time.
This is form 2.
This is form
kulikuwa na vitabu moto sijui Sweet Valley Highs, the Meals and Bones.
Kumbuke on Sundays you have some free time. So your time una spend ukifantasize. Right? Una fantasize. And then your time, so remember you mnenda funky, you go out to other schools, you have games day, so you interact with this other gender. Right? So in the interaction, of course, because you have read the book, you know the things to look for.
Uko na ka type tayari.
You got a type in your head, you have a type. I was so agreed from 2. I don't even think.
Lakini ukisoma hiyo kitabu you'll create a type.
You'll create a type in your head. And then you start noticing, kumbe guys like hips. Guys like, you know, so you start even when you're so tulikuwa tunashonanga hizi skirts before they brought this other style that you can't shape to your body. They were the straight ones. So unaweza enda home and then after unje form 1 unapewa tu ikiwa straight.
Na pia bado nature haijatake its course.
And you're in form 1, you're just children. So sasa after form 7 nimeenda home, she liked short skirts. So ameenda amekata yake. Mimi nikasema, okay, my mom that time she's getting into religion, deep into religion, ameanza kwenda kanisa inasema kuvaa trouser for a woman is wrong. So home nimeanza trousers zimeanza kutolewa. So my on the only clothes I have are long. So she's informing even my dress code. So even when nakata nguo, I still have a reservation because ashaniweka hiyo the fear. Yeah, but still I'm willing to experiment. So kuna ile nguo naenda nayo home ni mrefu na iko nini na kuna sasa naenda nayo funky, it's a different mama, I'm sorry. Yeah. It's a different mix. So I mean nikaanza kukata fupi, I realized kumbe I also like it like this.
Boys so, like to see some skin.
Nikienda funky nini and then mnaenda funky and then you're looking out. Ukitoka funky bila kukatiwa, it's a
it was painful.
We have to talk about it, guys.
Hapana.
It was
mimi nilikuwa peke yako. Sasa hizo shida sielewi lakini muendelee tu.
Tunakula tu sweetie.
Peke yako. Hakuna mtu amekusalimia.
Hakuna mtu amekusalimia.
Ilikuwa inauma.
Alafu unakuja mwenzako akona stories from here to. Alikatiwa na ule after ule ameendea sijui maji mwingine akakuja. So
mlikuwa mnapitia mengi.
So luckily for me, I would get somebody to talk to at some point. Yeah, I would get some interaction. So I remember there was this one guy. He was how mnendanga shule unapata this guy playing basketball. He's famous in his school. He was called, let me call him by his name, by his nickname because nobody knows him now. He was called Commander. Guys.
Yaani kabla kastanganga kulikuwa na Commander. Me I like this story. The only Commander I've ever known is that one.
I'm sure that's your nickname.
So
I just want to know his might.
Go on to now kuna Commander. At the same time, I'm missing Commander. See, he's starting an Arusha mystery. So I was initially when he started, I've always been so oblivious. I don't know why I don't always assume. See, I think how I'm socialized in my head. I think inakwanga like I first know you and then you express interest. Me in my head, I know a man is supposed to express interest. I can like somebody just by seeing who they are, but I will not internalize the thought until maybe they express how they feel. So Commander akaanza kurusha mistari, of course sasa tume exchange addresses. Your box addresses.
Barua
haya nimeenda shule. So tukaenda ingine sasa ya CU.
Hadi CU.
And then I met somebody else there. So this other guy was CU. So my Commander is a bad boy, famous. Sasa kuna hii side ingine, a meeting, this CU guy. They were both, I like tall men by the way. They were both equally tall.
It's okay. Short kings matter. Maybe short kings nitawa appreciate.
You can imagine I am 5'8" and then now I have a short king. Not just like you will have.
Love is love.
Love is love.
So at this point now,
this was for something I don't know like to say.
So now, Commander anarusha mistari, unarusha mistari. So of course, being young, you're a teenager, you'll go for this one.
Ukaendea Commander?
Nikaenda Commander. Huyu sijamwacha hajaniambia nataka nini.
Oh.
Kabla itoke. He's just coming out around you, we are talking. So me, I can't assume. Ladies and gentlemen, don't assume.
Yes,
it's true though.
Still applies.
It's okay.
Don't assume. It still applies.
Lakini pole ndio mwendo.
Sasa huyu
my vote iko kwa
you we were still talking, but sasa unaona because it's high school and he's a CU chairman. He has reserved. Mimi ni commander na so I would later on go on in life to date high profile men. So I think it's something I don't know. In the universe is speaking. So now you're dating these two. Okay, I'm not dating the two of them, but this one now has expressed what he wants. So I am picking things with this one. Uyu, but we're still talking. Waiting list. So this one, it became intense. It became, tukienda, because I remember your time, high school. Me, I'm not from the era your parents drop you off at school. I'm from the era shika fare. And so I would go to Kiambu Town, and him also his school lazima angepandia gari Kiambu Town because tumesomea ipandia Githunguri. So tunapatana, ujue kupatana mmecommunicate, I think ni kwa Facebook ama ni kwa barua somewhere to communicate, this is the time to meet, jua tuna simu. So you can imagine in an era where you are trusting, unashinda ukiuliza watu kwa gari because hata una watch sanga ngapi ndio usichelewe, right? So nilikuwa najua kutoka home mpaka Kiambu Town is this time. So namwambia nitakuwa Kiambu Town, tupatane hapo. Hii supermarket iko inaitwa, I've forgotten the supermarket's name. Iko Kiambu Town, it's a Clean Shelf. Tupatane Clean Shelf
at this time. So tunapatana just to be able to, for him to walk me to my matatu. You're walking Dekanga.
So cute.
How many minutes, please?
Cutesy.
I didn't keep record. I was just going with the flow.
I'm sure
it's like nose and mouth.
Yeah, but we had of course a time cap when mmeambiwa na shule hakuna kufika shule pass.
Okay.
So the relationship went on well until there's I think he had some other former girlfriend. You know, I was young. I didn't think to ask. I didn't think to ask Commander.
Kuna mwingine.
Why did you have an ex? You know, when you are new to this thing, you are assuming everybody's like,
I mean, it can only be you, right?
It's a puppy kind of love you are like. The puppy. So it is not at who are your parents, what tribe are you.
I'm your last.
To date, I can't tell you the tribe this guy was from because I didn't ask.
You didn't even care.
I didn't care. I was just going with it.
The chemistry was
chemistry. So ananipatia. So this was like a habit, and anatoa have a Clean Shelf. We do our shopping kama I've not done, and then he's also, but mostly his dad or his sister would have done for him. So alikuwa tu ananingoja ananishofa, and then if I needed more money, he was a gentleman. Ataniongeza, or if I don't need, we go. Twende anipeleke kwa bus stop, and then I go. So I noticed one time there's this girl who keeps lingering around us when we are talking. Ni kama inamwasha, and she was from a different school. So I was like, okay, I'm noticing a weirdness, and even when she circles us, Commander is acting funny. Yeah.
And he's acting our circle.
Anatusakol, pita. So I didn't ask. So eventually, I think the chick just came directly to me. And me, I'm not the kind of female. To date, I will not attack the woman. I won't say, I listen, Nini. And then I was like, I was so pissed at this guy. And then the chick, I was so sympathetic. And then I thought, because atujaenda mbali, I can take a step back. It's not that serious. Of course, in the coming times when tumeenda funky kwa kina Commander, he'd try and convince me otherwise. But I had already started checking out of the relationship. But it was a very exciting relationship,
Wow.
In it, because I remember, this is too much information, but I remember one time those moments unaonanga chali ameshikilia ukuta hivi alafu dem ako hapo. I remember one time the guy he pinned me on a wall, not literally, like amekupin too, because you're children, remember.
Pinned safely on a wall. Do not overthink the matter.
The matter
yes, it's high school.
I'm like, damn. Yeah, kwa hapo anajitetea. So me, I'm looking at him like, I am thinking this is a novel moment.
Exactly.
This is a novel moment.
Like the proximity, you know.
So later on, later on, I would this religion, it just fizzled out, because of course now when you start losing interest, na amna simu, eventually, and then now Jamie started coming up.
See you,
But
chairman.
how are you also feeling in this whole thing, Yani? What is it doing to you?
In this whole feeling, I'm feeling, the way you're feeling desired, like you are like, yeah.
Kumbe
I'm this. Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't grow up in an era where your mom told you are beautiful. You have nice hips. You have a nice bust. So you start gaining confidence based on now your relationships, what your guy is telling you about you.
Exactly.
So I start feeling,
kumbe,
and I'm feeling myself. So yeah, that's my story of how. He was slow, by the way. So by the time anakuja kuniambia venye ana feel niko huku form 3. Na yeye anamalizia.
Kuna heartbreak.
Anamalizia. So I remember tumeenda science conference. So yes, I was bright, by the way, still in the midst of all this. So I my project made it to provincial levels. Provincial mani district. No, tulianzia district. So district tukaanzia shule yao. Their school was hosting the
Commander sasa ama
CU chairman. So CU chairman, the school is hosting, mimi nimeenda nimepresent, namuona kwa kadirisha akipita hivi, akiambia, because he was a CU chairman and still the head boy. Guys.
Unapenda authority?
Wonder.
No, he passing, and then after I was done with my presentation, I went, we started, and he took me to a corner kwa field. He's like, I want to talk to you.
Hakuna ukuta bwana. It's working against the guy.
So at this point, I'm open. Like, I don't want to do a replica of this. I'm just going with the flow. This guy is like this. That's when I realized, kumbe, guys are different. This one, his approach was, on the spot, this is what I want, and the relationship also paced in that way. This guy would do huge gestures. Like, he would even come to my home hivyo tu. Nimemwambia kwenye naishi kwa barua, he will find me.
Where?
There's a day my dad...
na Google Maps.
It's giving you.
It is talking about me, this thing, bwana.
So, this is the time my dad found him hapo nje. And then my dad said, it's not how men are. He didn't harass him or anything. So you'd see that there's like an awkward feeling. Then the guy was shaking, greeting my dad. And then after my dad went in, I told him, let's not disperse immediately as a suspect.
We're doing something wrong.
So my dad sent my small sister, and I want to spend time with her. So that mjamaa aende. So I eventually told him, so of course daddy amesema the mjamaa has to scatter. But eventually sasa hiyo iliisha even because of that lady. It was I did not know how to handle that. I was too young to understand.
Waliongeza mtu waliongeza mtu.
And I don't do crowds.
Unajua vile umesema CU alikuwa head boy. I think also those dynamics did influence how we related. Because umesema hivyo nikakumbuka how for me I was a head girl and just being imagine unanionanga aje hatukupewa certificate zetu za kutembea nazo kwa ita otherwise mungejua
mlikuwa mnajisikia na time
na hakuna place LinkedIn tunaweza ongeza hii information unfortunately but it greatly influenced me not relating in high school. Because you are in leadership.
You have an image to
so you have an image to uphold.
And that's why he was.
So I'm yearning for it. Because my friends have good stories. And I believe I was a hot-looking babe at that point as well. But it's not happening. Because even everyone probably is scared of me. Maybe yes, because
you were scary.
Yeah, because I saw a comment 2 years ago or last year on our Facebook high school page, and somebody said a comment about
about your leadership.
Somebody questioned my leadership, and and how I was a very harsh head girl. So I was like, okay, so definitely I wouldn't have really attracted or entertained a guy, katiaing me, but I didn't enjoy having a high school someone. No, I didn't. I ended up having a crush on this guy because I used to play football. I ended up having a crush on this guy. And I don't want to say the only thing he brought to the table, but this person was an excellent football player, and that was it. So I think I loved the idea of them being good in that sport, but in terms of when we met, did we have conversations that were nice, interesting, that would no. It was just that for who they were, I felt a very strong connection, but because of my being in leadership, a head girl, I didn't. So, and I yearned for it really. Because of the stories I had, but I never got the opportunity. So I'm dealing with a head girl situation, and then I'm dealing with the sixth commandment. Yeah, like things were not going for me. Things were not going for me in relating. So it was very, very delayed. And I think that is why the next person who tried to approach me, also he went on for a long time. I think they started approaching me, and by the time I was saying yes, because then we met in church, that was the only opportunity, I was saying yes after high school, way after high school, but this guy was very persistent. He sent me the biggest success cards ever. Like he was like, but I'm thinking, no.
Was he older or the same age?
He was older, but then he was too nice.
Probably it's because you are minor.
No, not in that sense. Like he was... probably 2 years older, not beyond that. Yeah, 2 years older. But then I was just, there's something I was looking for and I don't know what. But then he was just too nice. And maybe he was
too nice. When you're a teenager, you want the bad boy.
I don't know. You don't mean I've not had any. I am a head girl. Nobody is, not even the bad boys.
Checking for you.
I'm the one who's checking the bad boys. I'm like, you, stop doing this. In fact, I even made a deal with the bad boys at one point because I was not being called for bad things. So I told them, can you call me when you are trying these things? and they even told me, yeah, we will be at behind the toilet at this time, come. But you see, I'm a head girl. Yeah, I want to see, I hear you guys smoke things. I want to see also. Because now, these things are passing me by.
To escalate the matter?
That was not the intention. Because I was also, as much as I'm a head girl, I'm cool. Like, I can play it well.
Both sides.
I almost double-agent-ish. Yeah, but not too much. But do you know they didn't show? So I went to the spot where I said, I'm coming to see these things. Nobody showed. So I think just being a head girl, I didn't know they wouldn't, but then, nothing worked for me. So the guy who eventually I said yes to ever was that nice guy.
After
high school, though. Yeah, after high school, that's when I was like, okay. And even when I did, I really didn't do justice to that relationship. Yeah, I was not a good person.
What did you do to the man?
I didn't give it a chance, because for me, I was focusing on how this person was perfect. They were a good communicator. They were expressing themselves well. They were gifting.
Now, when you look back now, that is what you
imagine. I was a
back
fool.
Then. No, you are not. You are not.
I think those are
something
the things.
Exciting.
But what is it? Because also I'm not socialized around even what to look for.
Yeah.
I promise you, interacting with that person was good. I was happy. I was safe. I wasn't forced to do anything. They were not focusing on a physical connection. Like, this person was...
So who ended it, you or them?
Who do you think ended it? Why are you using this podcast to hurt me? Of course, me.
You leave, you don't get left.
Imagine I left it. Left it, and this person even, went to find my brother and tried to can you talk to your sister? That young man.
That young man was a good man.
He was a very good kid.
I hope you're happy, by the way, wherever you are.
That's another story. Yeah.
Oh, know how he's doing?
I should.
Maybe not.
I should, but maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah. But But, just for the lack of not even knowing what to have looked for or what to have encouraged.
Yeah.
Even when my family probably enjoyed us relating, because even for them allowing him to come home, like there wasn't an issue. They never told me, we don't want to see you with this person.
Yeah.
So which meant he was ticking whatever boxes, but nobody encouraged me that, this was worth pursuing. This is what good relationships look like.
But then should you pursue every good relationship, or should you pursue the good relationship that also you have like,
but I should have given
chemistry?
it a chance.
But you didn't have chemistry. If you had chemistry, trust me, you'd still be there.
I would.
And the feelings.
But the people I had chemistry for, so that is a big mistake. Those things were bad.
At least you had felt something.
I did feel something, but they actually did target my values. After that, I would say the relationships that I now used my emotions. I was like, oh, I'm feeling some excitement about this person. Those ones tested me. Yeah. Those ones tested me, they're like, and for me growing up in a Catholic home, 6th commandment by the way was a serious thing. So I was not going to do anything. And those relationships that I used my emotions, they tested me. These people were like, you must not. And I remember being lectured on why, as much as yes, you're a Christian and you subscribe to this, it is important sometimes to give in.
Yeah.
Even those around me were telling me, because it looked very apparent. No, it looked apparent that I'm going to lose everything. Because that one was like the deal breaker. And there were the relationships that I was like, oh my God, I am over the moon. I even pictured us, ending up together.
Yeah.
I've already seen matching vitenges, but the pressure they put on my values, it was too much. It was too much.
I think I had the list. I feel like I didn't have the exciting... I mean, it was here and there, but I honestly feel like I wasn't consumed at all. I just knew, okay, I like this guy, they like me, we text a bit, and that was that. Yeah, like we'd go for walks, and we'd bond over music. And the minute this guy starts being expression, like the telling, I was like, like that's where I know, like this is where you're I was okay when we were spending time together, we're listening to music, we're just enjoying each other's company. But the minute it gets to, I really like you, do you know what? First of all, I come from a home whereby these expressions of emotions doesn't exist. So that was very scary, because you're coming from a home whereby people don't really express. So it was just that. So to me, it was very scary, and I was like, this is where we just move on to the next thing. And that was high school all the way. Had a few crushes here and there. I would even say uni for a bit, for actually a very long... Okay, I remember the first year. The first year actually was very exciting, because now you can see any boy, talk to any boy,
you're allowed.
Be with them till late in the evening, go whatever time you want. So I was going to a lot of parties, until I failed one exam. Then I was like, this can't be happening.
In high school, you were partying?
No,
in campus. Then I was like, no, this can't be happening. I can't be failing. Yeah, you have to find a way.
You had a good head on your shoulder.
I actually did. I was like, ain't no way.
You called yourself in.
Yep. And I was like, ain't no way. You're up till 5 a.m. 8 a.m. you're going to class. What time are you reading? What time are you studying? What time are you doing your things? So I was pretty...
that is adulting.
You are a good child.
Pretty disciplined. And then also I'm coming from a home whereby my siblings also very focused. No one brought boyfriends or girlfriends. No one, we didn't see it. Yeah, so we were just very... You're living out of precedence, what you've seen your siblings do.
Which is true.
So that's how you just exist as well. Then at some point you're like, okay, maybe I should give these relationships a chance. The same thing. Too boring, too expressiony, too...
You're discouraging the lover boys.
At some point you're like, hey, you're pushing me to tell you things that I don't even know whether I'm feeling them or not. So also, coming from a home where we don't talk about relationships, dating, values, what to look for, what not to look for, you also end up very confused in that space. So you don't know what to look for, what to look out for in that relationship, who is a good guy, who is not a good guy. And the same thing, like being pressured in some instances, feeling like this. Actually, I have a story, interesting. So this guy, I really liked him. I don't know why, but he was just bad boy type of energy. And at that time, our folks were very limited in terms of them. Like, they were not giving us cash. It was, what do you want? Let me give you money for that. Like, I want this dress, take this money for this dress. It wasn't the way that people have allowance that you have 3,000 bob just because, no. So this money that you've been given, you find a way to like save. So I'm thinking, I'll take a matatu, and I'm going to see him, then I'll walk, and I'm coming back home. Right now, I'm not committed.
Right now, you can't even work for yourself.
I'm like, hey, no. Then I'll walk back, yeah. So I remember we would go to his house, we'd hang out. It was so much fun and exciting. And then his parents would come and he's like, we need to hide, we need to go. So we are leaving, we're going. So we did that like twice. The third time is like, I want us to go to some house. It's like, what house?
Sasa imefika ile part ya ku-express.
So I was like, I want us to go to some house. Okay, I was like, okay, I liked this house. So why are we not in this
changing hands? So naive, eh?
Yeah. Then I was like, this is when they're coming to ask for.
Unatayarishwa kwa kichinjio.
So then I was like, okay, fine. Either way, the dad has just come, so we need to leave. So we are leaving. We're going to this house. So when I get to the house, first of all, the standard of the house from the parents' house, it's not meeting this standard. So
it's like, house.
Yeah, that's not a house. It's like, it was like a, I don't know, it was like a bed sitter. And mind you, me, I've never seen a bed sitter in my entire life. This is the first time I'm seeing a bed sitter. So I'm like,
I would describe the bed sitter ndio tuelewe if you're on the same page.
Ukifanya hivi mkono uko kwa kitchen.
Yeah. So there's this mattress that people nowadays, not mattress, blanket that people nowadays put on the door. That type of blanket.
The little blanket.
Yeah. So I looked at that bed. And like the way this thing is set up, there's no table, there's no nothing.
It's not needed.
It's just a bed.
The table is not needed.
Yes.
So I look at him and I'm like,
but what awaits the table is irrelevant.
So I'm looking at him, he's looking at me.
Okay, the setup is not even motivating. Eliciting
me, aesthetics are very important. So, and at that time I was like, first of all, I felt a bit offended because I'm like, first of all, why would you think that this type of setup would make me happy?
Wow.
Yeah. Because also, look, I've never seen a bed sitter in my life. Wow. And it's not even about, even the setup itself. Yeah. Because to me,
they're cozy ones.
Yeah, we need ones. Plus, for him, it also felt rushed. Like him, he wants to get this thing done. Yeah, so he's called up his friend and older friend.
Free up the space.
Free up the space. Let's get this thing. And that's when that day I was just like, okay, so I told him, honestly, I can't stay for long. And then I'm thinking it's getting late and I have to walk back home.
Where?
Yeah.
There's the great trek.
The great trek back home. Because you see, then I was like, okay, I have to go back home. And that's when I let go of that relationship because I was like, I'm not ready. Yeah, I'm in no way, number one.
How did the guy handle it?
I mean, I kind of ghosted, so I just kind of ghosted, and I was like, yeah, I think I was okay with it when it was nice and what's the word? Nice and innocent. So just hanging out, enjoying music, just being together. And then when then I was like, now we're getting into serious adult business. Yeah. So that's why I was like,
I'm not ready for that.
I'm not ready for this. Yeah. I've never seen a condom in my life. I don't know. How do you ask for one? How do you not ask for one? So like, it was a very complicated situation. Then I was like, no.
I don't know. I like what you're bringing to light because also it means that for everybody, relationships mean different things.
Yeah.
You know, so for some people, it's the physicality of it.
Yeah.
For some people, it's just the quality time. Like we can talk ear in, ear out, just go on dates. Don't touch me, I don't touch you. and they're still fulfilled and happy.
Yeah.
And even when you're looking at the now, you're like, probably that's what excites you. And
most,
that's where it's actually, stemmed from.
Yeah.
Wow. I like that.
It was definitely very exciting. Then there's another one. This other one was too nice. Yeah. So he cared about everything. How do you feel? How do you I just felt like, hey, this is a lot of attention, a lot of emotion, a lot of just this other one was gangster.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at the bedsitter one.
used to wear a long this basketball shirt, and he doesn't have a shirt inside, and I'm looking at him, I'm like, yes, this is what I want. Give me 3 of those. And then this other one is like the complete opposite.
Yeah. Wow.
Complete opposite, very thoughtful, very sweet and kind and all of that. He would care about how I'm getting home. This other one, I was just there I need to see you. But that was that. Then I realized, this one is pushing things really quick. And I was like, no, ain't no way.
Wow. The fact that she even knew when to even press pause is actually communicates how well you were brought up.
Yeah. Me, things don't end. Good things don't end for me. No, seriously, I have a trouble ending them. Seriously, because I like to stay in that feeling.
Yeah, you so ungefika kwa bedsitter ujiconvince no stay in the moment.
Ama nitafute kitu itatufanya lakini hiyo relationship haitaisha. I would still get out of it. I won't compromise at that point if I'm not into it. I won't, but the relationship won't end. I enjoy just being in that, that, I don't know, that feeling of being wanted and being excited. It was just like excitement.
To be honest, I would have handled it very differently because when I go back to the friends I had, the friends you have inform a lot of choices you make.
Correct.
Because the friends I had at that time, how in high school, your friends will come and lie to you. They were at a party, they did ABCD, but they didn't do. Now, half of them didn't do. But you, with your small brain, you're thinking they did. Yeah. And they make it look so fun.
And you're left out.
So, I remember, I think the first time for me when I did it, I think the last thing on my mind was, what do I want? Right? The thing that was on my mind was the way my friends described it. I want the way what they felt. They sold me into this.
Yeah.
Later on, I'd come to realize these people didn't do it.
They were not.
Because whatever you experienced and whatever they were saying,
they were
night and day.
It's not.
Yeah.
And then later on, after me, I was when I was young, I didn't know how to be dishonest. So I'd come and be honest about it. And then they took that information and now are sharing with each other, and they're telling each other, I'm telling Basira, hey, imagine Carol did ABCD. She did what? You understand? This is the friend that alikuhype.
Go do this thing.
After that is the friend that alikuconnect.
Damn.
Right? So later on, I'd experienced betrayal at this very young age.
Yeah.
So it really hurt, and I did not know what to do with that. And my parents, that time, mind you, is the time they found a letter from Commander.
Going back.
Yeah.
And the letter, I think, I don't know how I forgot. Nilikuanga nachanga barua shule. So for some reason, it's in that book, your revision. You know how you go home, the holidays, now you're revising. So mi nafungwa hivi, my mom is next to me. Now, I think still going potea. So akaona to love hearts. You know how they used to calligraph these letters? Oh my God. She already seen it. She's like, letter, what is that letter? You know how parents are kitambo. And she's like, me, I send you to school because yako sijui ni mapenzi. And I'm trying to explain to her, I've not even done anything with the boy, but she's gone to the worst case scenario. Yeah. Then she's saying, I'm going to tell your dad. And we were afraid of my dad. My dad is a good man. He loved us and all, but akikushika hivi, my friend. So I was trembling in my heart. I'm like, Mom, don't tell Dad. I promise I won't do it again. I will leave this boyfriend. Yeah. I'm begging her, but she didn't want to listen. So my dad comes. I remember that tuko nakula, I think, chipo. Hata sikukula. Because tumbo imejaa maji. My dad is coming here, I know here I'm getting a beating of a lifetime. So my dad comes in. Nobody wants to hear my side. Nobody wants to know how my daughter will come tell me, Mom, there's a boy in school, there's a boy somewhere, and then I'll tell me more. Kiboko, nilipigwa wewe.
Na ni barua tu ameona.
Alinipiga. So from that day to date, I struggle talking to my mom about my relationships. Because you were supposed to inform. At that point is when you should have sat me down and told me, this is how ABCD, this is how you're going to handle it. Wachana na wao, ukienda campus, nini, work hard, ABCD. But then that beating, what it made me do, it made me become rebellious now. Because remember, I'm a teenager.
Yeah.
You're a teenager, you just keep testing your parents' boundaries.
Yeah.
So I go back to school, umepigwa, your friends are making fun of you. But mind you, for some reason, I was very bright. Thank you, God, by the way. For some reason, I was very bright. Yeah, so I was very bright. So I'm still doing well in school. I'm still top 10. Now I'm going to top 5 sasa. We are heading towards sasa from 4. So at this time now, my mom has started... nikienda nikirudi, she's like anaanza kuinternalize wewe kazi yako is, she's using very harsh words. I can't even say them out loud because it still hurts to date, because of course her parents did not know also how to apologize, so she's never come back and told me I'm sorry for this,
for what I said.
So later on, rebelliously, sasa mimi, by the time this friend is informing my decision, I'm already acting rebelliously. Yeah, so I'm already like, she said I'm this, then I'm that. I'm not even going to argue with her. If she's my mom and she thinks I'm this, then
so be it.
So I go rogue. Now I'm going back to school, and then remember at the time we had a lot of friction with my mom. Tunapigana ile physical mdomo, akinituma kwa duka nikikaa kidogo shida. Akiniona nisimama kidogo nimeongea na nani shida. So I got to a point I had enough. Looking back, I realized she had issues of her own, because alikuwa ametake up a bit of loans, so alikuwa anasumbuliwa. So she was projecting a lot. So me, I didn't know at that age. I'm also I'm processing my own things. Niko na pressure ya form 4 sasa. Ananiongelesha vile I can't find peace in my own home. Yeah. So I'm going to school with boyfriend, nishachana na wao juu venye nilipigwa na wako. Kwanza my dad when he was beating me was telling me, wako hapa, are they here?
Where?
Are they save you? Are they here to save you?
Where?
So that really made me, these guys never knew what ever happened. I just up and just left them alone. So I'm here, we're having this tussle with my mom, emotionally me. One day, I remember walking out. It's one term to, I think it was May-ish. It's one term to now my KCSE. I just remember having enough. My mom has yelled to the top. I remember just nimeendea sapa nikaenda na sikurudi.
Ukurudi home?
I never came back home. I came back home. They found me after a month.
Ulikuwa wapi?
I know. So like I just wanted.
You wanted peace.
Yeah.
So yet I knew where I was going. So
you didn't plan even that.
I didn't plan even that. But looking back, I see I only survived, like God alikuwa ananibshikilia. If you know how God can just cushion you, even when you don't know what you're doing and you are just a child, he cushioned me. So I went, I remember that day it was raining kiasi. Nilienda, nikasimama tawa. I didn't even know where I was. Kumbe I was at Koinange Street. So me
of all streets.
So and then there was kulikuwa na club 69, alafu kulikuwa na, I think there's a club called Simas somewhere. It was an outdoor one.
Yes.
So me I want to get in.
It's not a very desirable club, but it existed.
So nimesimama, I think hapo kulikuwa na bata. Nimesimama hapo bata, it's raining. I'm like, okay, let me wait for it to stop raining when I'm standing here. As I decide whether juu niko na pesa ile pesa nilibeba nikasema ni ya sapa inatosha, haikuwa mingi, ilikuwa ya mboga, so it's like 100 bob 50 bob yenye nilikuja na alafu nimebakisha 50 bob ya kurudi home. So at this point I'm supposed to say whether I'm going back home, and then I realize if I go home my dad will beat me.
You know what I wait.
I know what I wait. So bado niko na hiyo uoga. So nikasimama hapo, then I remember some foreign guy came. He stood next to me. He was like, he was Congolese, so he had a heavy accent. I didn't know. He told me. So he's like, I'm going up here to gamble. I think kulikuwa na casino huko juu. See, we go. I'm like, I didn't know this guy was picking me up. Right? So I stand there. I'm like, okay, let's go. Then he says, first we go find something to eat. And I'm like, okay, I'm hungry.
Makes sense. So tukaenda fast food joint, we ate, and then we went up. I waited for him to finish playing. And then now we went to his place. You're going to his place. I'm a kid. I'm wondering. You are brave.
What am I doing here? But luckily, centrally, God is carrying you like this. So I tell this man, I'm not interested in, like, I'm scared. I just need a place to sleep. I'm not interested in whatever. So he listens. Yeah. I know, right? It's hard to believe. So I sleep there. I wake up. The following morning, he shows me to the shower. I shower. I go back now too. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I used to just zurura a lot in town. Naenda, najipata arboretum, nakaa chini. I just needed to just... And then I'm enjoying now the peace. Now my mom is not... I can't hear her yelling.
Lakini unajua ulihepa home.
I know, but at that time, you're a child. You're just running away from the chaos.
Yeah.
So nimeenda arboretum, nikakaa chini at some bench. And then I met this guy. I remember he was acting hizi set books za high school.
Kifo kisimani.
Hizo. So amekaa hapo chini, mimi nimekaa hapo chini, anamwambia, venye natafuta job. Him is like, me, I act for ABCD. By the way, there's somebody who's just quit. Quit hivyo abruptly, and tunafaa tuende Western. Walikuwa ndanga huko shule za Western. Tunafaa tuende Western kama leo tuseme leo ni Monday, kama Friday. Can you come and audition? ASAP, like we need somebody ASAP. So I was like, where? Then he's not asking me for my ID. so I was like, okay, right? So nikaenda nika audition, and as I'm auditioning, I know, guys, either I have this or have this. Like we are like a few girls, but now I'm like I have nothing to lose. Like I'm going to give it everything I have. Luckily, I gave it everything I have, and then I got the job. So during this process now, of course you're mingling with these guys. You're mingling with the guys, so they start asking you about your family. So now, I had to lie to the director. I told the director, you see, I'm an orphan. Because if I tell him the truth, atakurudisha nyumbani, na mimi I'm not ready to go. Right? And then he says, okay, this is the contract. It's a verbal contract. So you come with us to Kisii, we sort your accommodation, and then we pay you 900 per day for your meals and whatever you might need. But transport is sorted, accommodation is sorted. So that's a deal for me, because I'm not checking in it.
Kuna pali pa kulala.
Man. Exactly. So mimi huyo kwa basi mpaka Kisii. Me I'm acting. Nimeingia. So my mom here on this other side is thinking, msichana alienda kaoleka. My dad is like, hapana, me have to find my daughter. My mom is like, msichana labda alienda kaoleka. Because then they come from a generation where you would get married off like that. Umehepa kwenye umeenda ukaolewa. My dad was hapana. No. So my dad went to a standard media. He was like, hey, my daughter, I've not seen Nini, I'm worried, Nini. Wakapelekwa police station, Nini ikakuwa kesi, and then they printed on the paper. For some reason, this guy who is our director was a newspaper guy. Mpaka wa leo. This guy who was a newspaper guy. Like, yeye ni wale watu wa kununua newspaper kila asubuhi.
Avid newspaper reader.
And then specifically, the Standard. You see how God is, the life is just... So me, I'm acting, nini, I'm making 900 bob a day, and you are what, 17? Your pesa, it's too much also, right? So me, I'm buying whatever, nikisikia kukula lollipop, kumi?
Na uko tu dara yako. I'm just impressed by how she left her past life. I'm just moving on swiftly.
Like, maybe I'm traumatized.
Some nights I miss my parents. Yeah. But then the work is a lot, so you're tired. So by the time I'm missing my parents, I'm tired, I sleep.
Yeah.
And then, this crew is a group of actors, so it's fun throughout. So I'm like, it's mad fun.
Time of your life.
I'm having so luckily they never took any alcohol, so I never interacted with alcohol. So we're just doing chai, kwenda kukula, alafu nenda mnalala. Yeah? And then, so one day this guy sees me on a newspaper. Me, I have no idea. This day I woke up a normal day. We used to have we used to share rooms. Like ladies sleep in this room, 2 of you. Hivi mnagaiwa, so hizo rooms where zinakuwa double beds and whatnot. So me in the morning nimeamka vizuri, nimeenda, I've taken a shower, then these ladies come and tell me, mjama kumbe ameona newspaper. Ameita mademo yetu nalala, akaambia ni Pollet. So mimi nimeona ABCD. So if we tell her, she might run away. If we tell her the way we are taking her in the truth, she might run away. So what we're going to do is we tell her we have gotten a show in Nairobi, to perform leo, alafu turudi Kisii. That time we were living in Kiroka. So the ladies come to the room. They tell me, "Oh, Pollet, nini." Me, I'm a child. You're not seeing through anything. It's the first time I'm doing this, so I don't even know how it goes. So I follow them. Nini, tumeenda tao. Me as generations, nini building a standard in a kaje. So tunaingia standard. I have no idea. Wananiambia utani tuangoje kwa boardroom, wanakuja we discuss.
Yeah,
I will never forget. Nilikuwa nimekalishwa, unaona boardroom mlango iko hapa, nimekalishwa kwa the first seat pale. So I'm seeing my parents walk in. I remember my body just froze. I realized at that moment what I did. At that moment is when I'm realizing, oh my God, I think I messed up, At that moment, and it's been like a month since the day I left to now they're finding me. It's been like, I'm not thinking that my parents are suffering. I'm not even thinking my siblings, my aunties, everybody in the neighborhood is busy looking for me. I'm not thinking. I'm enjoying this life. I have no plan for what I'm going to do with this new life. So I see my parents and then I start trembling and crying now. Because it's like when your child is a toddler and then you tell them watcha, they have no idea what they have just done. But when you tell them watcha, they realize now So that happened to me. So I look at my parents and I'm like, what? And my aunties, kwanza one was pregnant, she was crying. I'm like, where? By the way, these people, I could have died. What was I even thinking? Like, I could have really ended up in a ditch. Yeah? So it hits me what has just happened. So when I come back home, now my parents are a bit mellow. Hakuna kunichapa tena. Even my parents tell me, hakuna kuchapa tena. So I'm relieved. I'm like, but when I saw them, I was scared. I was like, oh my God, wanachapa hapo kwa studio hour. So I'm relieved now that they have told me hakuna kuchapa. So they start talking to me now. But remember now, at this point, a lot has happened.
Within that time frame.
Hata see that time frame, like, mpaka nifike hapa napotea, like, a lot has happened to me mentally.
Yeah.
So you can tell me I can trust you, but you can't tell me after the last image I have of you is you beating me black and blue.
That's not changing.
That's not change.
Yeah, they've already planted a seed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now it's just... So I came back, I went back to school, and I still performed, by the way. Nimerudi shule that term. And then now, during this circus ya kupotea na nini, I meet a guy who would later on now be the father of my child. Right?
So that decision was also made during this
process.
1 month of running away from home.
Yes.
Wow.
So running away from home, we exchange numbers, and then we later on meet after nimemaliza high school. That's the month of December. So me in my head, I didn't even, let's be honest, I was not in love with the guy. It was just, you're just going out with somebody. And then I think they were in campus or something. And then they, you know how you want to seem cool, they ask you that you've ever done it, you want to seem cool. So you just say,
yes,
of course. So when they're taking you out, they know. And then this is the first time I'm drinking. So unajua haujui limit yako, you don't even know your type of drink. This is the first person who's introduced you to a drink, and then later on you go to his place, and me I'm thinking nothing much
would happen here.
You can't get pregnant from
just one time.
It's just one time.
And I also thought there's an age where you get pregnant, like kutoka that you call, in my head.
Sex education was also lacking.
Lacking because everybody was even carrying a pad in high school. It was so secretive, and you're only girls. So even talking about it with your parents, I wish, looking back, that when it happened, I would have somebody I come and say, hey, mom, I think I messed up last night.
This is what happened.
Right?
Yeah.
So then she would know what to do. But you didn't have that. You're living in this fear, in this crippling fear. And even, I think I had ended the relationship very badly with this guy. You don't even know that. Blah, 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 blah. And then in January, I start vomiting. I start feeling bad. So my dad is so concerned. He's like, baby girl, what is going on? Maybe I think I have malaria. So we go with my dad to the hospital, innocently. Tumeenda hosi, the nurse comes, she says she's my dad's friend, akamuona, akaniambia, you guys keep the line. Nikapimwa kila kitu. So she had a list of things. So she comes. This nurse, by the nurse, you to direct. She comes, she says, hauna hii. Lakini, kaniangalia, kona ball.
Wow.
So, my dad freezes. And me, I freeze. You know how you are like, now, I'm processing as my parent is processing.
Yeah.
We're processing together.
Well,
that's chaotic.
Unaelewa ball ni nini at this point?
At this point, she had malaria.
I had malaria. No, I was coming from malaria drugs. And then I go back home.
With a ball.
Then my dad was quiet the entire journey home. And me in my head, I'm like, your process, how?
How did it get to
even if somebody at that moment asks you how, ata utamwambia how. Even me, I am wondering the same how. So my dad, it took a while before he spoke to me. He spoke to me, I think, he spoke to me after, I think, a day or two. But then he went straight to his room after tumefika, and then my mom came. My mom was so dramatic. So she came in the evening, and she asked my dad, hey, wake up, you took the toto to hospital, muliambiwa nini? My dad was like, enda umulize. That's when she knew now, this is not good. So she came akanipata kwa, because we were 3, we were living in a 2-bedroom house, so these beds ni 3. It's a huge room, but there are 3 beds. So mi niko hapo nimelala kwa bed yangu. Mine was the middle one. So nimelala hapo, my mom came. Wewe amka. Ati mliambiwa ni nini? At this point I can't hide. At this point I can't lie. My dad knows.
Yeah.
So I'm like, niambiwa niko na mimba. My mom screams. You know how hysterical parents can get.
Like ni mwisho wa maisha.
She's even holding her head. Her head huku ako. Utaambia watu nini? Sijui atalala wapi? Sijui atakula nini? Hata wewe mwenyewe sijui hata ujijui. You know, that moment when she says everything you're thinking out loud. So I'm like, well, even me, I don't know what's going to happen. So fast forward, later on, they accepted. They didn't chase me out to go home.
Or go find the person.
They didn't even probe me much about the person. Today, they don't even know who he is. They didn't. I think they learned not to push me because of that first experience of me running away. They learned not to push. So when I think I told my dad, Jamal enda maju, because I did not know what to say. What do you say? I've not talked to this guy for 3 weeks. So where is he? I don't know where he is. And to be honest, guys, I only knew this guy's first, one name.
Wow.
It was that bad.
Wow.
It was that bad. So it happens, and sometimes the guy is not there. Like most people were saying, oh, men are dogs and nini. Sometimes it's just an innocent experience from the both of you. I doubt he also even knew my second name.
Or even intended for such an outcome.
Or even intended for such an outcome.
But I think vibes. Yeah, and what is the greater theme that is coming is that how greatly at home we manage the element of relationship has that gravity of impact, at parent level, at child level. Your discourse in life.
Right?
Yeah. I think this episode deserves a second part.
Yeah, it definitely does.
It does, yeah. And that's the only way those that were here today will have to come back for the second part.
So true.
Yeah. Because, I mean, relationships are deep.
They are.
And it is the depths of the relationships that we even realize who we are and the decisions we make and how they impact our lives.
I feel like just listening to Pollet's story, I feel like she really honestly wasn't aware, like, where she was, what she's doing, what is happening. It feels like all these things are just happening to her. Because even when you think about it, if you had an inkling that you were pregnant, you probably wouldn't even have gone with your parent to the hospital.
I wouldn't.
So that's also very interesting to see. And I'm like, damn. Just the conversations we all
start off innocently, by the way.
Hold on. I think at them is where we stop it.
I'm like, what?
And we want to see you on the next part.
Episode.
Next part on identity and relationships, because it's only fair that we also get to know how does this look like in the now.
Yeah.
So please join us next time as we have Pollet back.
Yes.
So that we get to the second part and probably final. We hope so. We don't know. It's relationships, right? Anyway, thank you so much for keeping it locked on Tangawizi podcast. Until next time. Bye.